Transwest Truck Trailer RV. My name's Nicole and I'm one of the truck sales professionals here at our Frederick location. Today we are going to be looking at this beautiful M2 Plus Summit Hauler conversion. This is a beautiful champagne color. You can see how it glistens in the sunlight. Just a beautiful color overall. So let's go ahead and jump right in. Right here you're going to see we have the signature C9 Summit Hauler piece. This is a great durable grill for airflow and just durability. Beautiful on the front of this truck. Love the Summit Hauler, shines well in the light. Take a look down here, you're gonna see we have a 3 separate piece bumper. The nice thing about these bumpers is Freightliner builds them so they can come off individually. So if you get in, someone bumps into you or you run into something, they can be taken off individually, and that's gonna go ahead and minimize that downtime and eliminate those expensive costs that you'd be doing to replace the entire thing. So that's a great feature. Right down here, you're gonna see we have 2 very secure recovery hooks. That's gonna be if you need a quick tow. Those secure points are gonna be great for that. Right here, you're going to see we have our Detroit Assurance collision detection box. I'll go ahead and talk a little bit more about some of the safety features on this truck when we get inside, but that's gonna be one of our detection radar boxes. Alrighty, let's take a look under the hood. But first, as you can see, look at the shine on this color of the champagne. These hoods are built to be extremely durable. They're condensed fiberglass, so they're gonna hold up a little bit better than that aluminum, and they're gonna be more deterrent to denting, especially in those states that have hail and that kind of stuff. Texas, especially here in Colorado, all those states, this is gonna be more deterrent to that hail, so that's a good thing to know. If you take a look under the hood, you're gonna see we have the Cummins L9 engine. This is going to give out 360 horsepower and 1,150 pounds of torque. The Cummins is a very strong engine. It's great for those heavy loads. It's a very good engine for those very long trips as well. That is going to be paired with the Allison 3200 TRV 6-speed automatic transmission. The Allison is going to be great, especially paired with that Cummins. So overall, right here, you're going to have a good combination of a great truck. The nice thing about these hoods is they pop right open safely and securely. So if you need to get, under the hood to check something out, that's going to be all good for you. And one thing to note is everything is extremely accessible. If you need to maintenance something, you need to add some steering fluid, whatever you may need, it's going to be easy access. Right here you can see we have our fuel filter water separator, we have our power steering fluid, fuse box right there, and we have some filters right on the other side. So everything's going to be easy access if you need to get under the hood. Taking a look right down there, those are gonna be our jumping hookups. So if you need a quick jump in the morning, that's gonna be where you'd hook up and easy access, and you're gonna be good to go. And then putting this hood back down, it's gonna be an easy process. You're just gonna push this guy down, it's gonna resist you a little bit, then you should be good. Then you can jump right over here. There's 2 secure lock holds, just like that, and then you do the one on the other side. Taking a look down here, you're gonna see we have the 255 80R 22.5 XRV tires. This is gonna be paired with the Alcoa wheels. And another great feature about our wheels is Freightliner adds ball balancers into those wheels and those tires. That's just gonna keep your tires from getting less wear, and it's gonna keep them balanced when you're on the road, so it's gonna be less bumpy for you. Another great feature is the Alcoa wheels are better for fuel mileage because they are lighter. So with this whole setup right here with the wheels, you're gonna be good to go on these trucks. Taking a look right here, we are going to have our engine block heater. This is gonna be for the colder mornings, like today, it's a bit chilly today, where you just, you wanna leave that plugged in overnight. It's gonna keep your fuel good to go, keep you from gelling up. Everything's gonna be warmed up. So when you're ready to go in the morning, you're not gonna have any issues with the cold weather. Right here, you're going to see we have our breakaway mirrors. These mirrors are huge. They're great when you're in the truck because it's gonna eliminate those blind spots, which is gonna be safer for not only you in the truck, but it's gonna be safer for the people around you because you're gonna be seeing what's going on even in your blind spots. So those mirrors are great. Another great feature about them is they do shift forward and back. This is so if someone runs into you or you bump into something or you need to get in a tight parking spot, you're gonna be able to just bend those mirrors back so they're not gonna break off. They're just gonna be bending. Great. Taking a look here, you're going to see we have the 3-strip no slip grips for getting in. I know in the cold mornings when things are frozen, it can get a little slick and feel a little dangerous, but these guys are nice. They really grip onto your shoes, and with these safety handles right there, you're going to have no problem getting into these trucks. Freightliner has built so many features of safety into these, and this is going to be a great one as well. Taking a look right here, you're going to see that we have one of our 2 fuel tanks built into this truck. This is going to be our first 50-gallon tank. There's 2 50-gallon tanks, and I will talk a little bit more about those on the other side. And then this is going to be our 6-gallon DEF tank. This is going to give you 300 to 350 miles per gallon, so you're not going to be filling up as much on the road. You're going to fill up and you're going to be good to go for a little bit. Alrighty, let's go ahead and take a look into the truck. The first thing you're going to see is that these trucks are built for comfort. The chairs are very comfortable, they're shock absorbing, and with the air ride, there's so many different adjustments you can do to, build a more comfortable ride. So here's going to be our adjustment for the air. We have our lumbar support, our heated seat, as well as our tilt. Like I said, these really are built for comfort. If you take a look right here, you're going to see we have our kill switch. That switch is going to be very important if you're not using the trucks. If you just flip it off, it will go ahead and kill all accessories, so you're not leaving lights on and you're not draining that battery without knowing. Taking a look right back there, you're going to see that we have our light test button. That is going to be a button you can hit to run a full light test on your truck before you get on the road. You want to make sure your blinkers are working, want to make sure everything is good to go. You can go ahead and hit that button. It's a quick process. It'll run through everything and you can assure that you're going to be safe on the road. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the back seat here. The first thing you're going to notice is there is a lot of spacious room back here. Again, these trucks are built for comfortability. You can see there's a lot of room on the seats for passengers, but not only that, there's a lot of room under the seats for extra storage and that kind of stuff. As you can see, we have a duffel right here that could secure nicely under those seats. The nice thing about the storage under here is you can fit duffels, small bags, so they're not by your passengers' feet. Another good thing about this is it folds out into a bed just by a motorized button. One thing I want to keep in mind is make sure there's no weight on that seat when you are pulling that down, because you don't want to mess up the motor, and for safety reasons, you just want to make sure you're being safe with that. Taking a look right here, you're going to see we have 4 bolts. This is going to be the panel that slips off to get access to those batteries. The only reason you would need access to those would be if you are replacing them or maintaining those, just because the hookups are in the front. So you're not going to need to get in here a whole lot, but if you do need to get access to those batteries, that is going to be right there easy for you. All right, taking a look down here, you're going to see we have our trickle charger. This is going to be a great charger to plug in if you are not using the truck for a long time. Maybe you just go on a trip and then you're not going to need it for a month. You can leave that guy plugged in the shop or outside, and it's going to keep everything good for you. It's going to keep those batteries good to go just by trickling power. It's going to keep them awake, going to keep them alive, so when you go to start that truck in a month, you're going to have no issues getting that guy started. One good thing to know about this is it can also charge a small 12-volt device, so you can keep that in mind as well. Alrighty, moving back here, you're going to see we have our first storage compartment. These are going to be very durable, diamond plated. These are built for durability. They're going to be scratch proof. And the nice thing I like to add about these is if you have tools in here, some people put extra depth, whatever you have in here, it's going to be less likely to move around, just because those diamond plated, that texture, it's going to keep everything from sliding around. So you can rest assured that that's going to be safe in there. And also look at the storage in here. There's a lot of space and storage, so you're not going to have issues putting stuff in here because there's plenty of room. So that is going to be our first large storage bin on the truck. Alrighty, and then taking a look right here, you're going to see this is our secondary storage bin. This one's going to be a little bit smaller. It's going to be built more for the chains and straps. If you need, even if you need to throw a few small tools in there, that's going to be easy access. You're going to know exactly where everything is because there's not much room for it to get lost. But one thing I like to add about these storage compartments is they have the weather sealing, so it's going to keep things from getting wet, from freezing in there. Like I said, you can rest assured knowing that all your stuff is going to be safe in these compartments. Alrighty, taking a look at the bed of the truck, you're going to see again we have the durable diamond plate. One thing I like to add with this diamond plate on top, it's going to prevent rusting. I know there's some issues when you have the steel plated tops. These ones are going to be great because it's going to be more rust resistant. Taking a look right here, you're going to say we have 2 pre-drilled holes. Those are going to be for an added storage box, toolbox, or if you want to add a extra wheel right there, you can add any hookup you want. Or if you are interested in a storage box, we can go ahead and add that for you before you purchase the truck. Taking a look above the headache bar, you're going to see we have our Voyager camera system. That is going to be the first camera that can be added to this truck. That one's already hooked up, but that's going to give you a great vision if you're hooking up to a gooseneck or your fifth wheel hitch. That's just going to give you some secondary vision that your mirrors are not able to give you. So that is a great feature that is added onto these trucks. Taking a look back here, you can see we have our hookup where a fifth wheel or a gooseneck can be added. Just based on whatever you are looking for, we can go ahead and get that hooked up for you. Like I said, before you pick up the truck, everything will be set up. Right here on the both sides, you can see we have 1,000 pound tie down. So if you need to tie anything down back here, that's going to be how you do that. And they do hold quite a bit of weight. Right here, you're going to see we have our hookup for our gooseneck fifth wheel and our hookup for our bumper pull. This truck has the Gen Y hitch. Right here you can see it's the 2 5/16 ball. This can hold up to 32,000 pounds. And on this side is going to be our 2-inch ball. The Gen Y hitch is amazing just because it can be adjusted higher, lower based on where you want to pull that bumper pull. So it's completely adjustable to how you want it, which is a great feature because you might be pulling different trailers and you can easily fix that. Right here is going to be our secondary Voyager hookup that can be ran to a stock trailer, horse trailer, wherever you want that camera to be, whether it's in a trailer or even if you adjust a trailer right here so you can see where you're hooking up. You can do that however you want, but that is going to be that hookup for the secondary Voyager camera. Alrighty, taking a look on the other side, you're going to see we have another storage. It's going to be a smaller storage and then a larger one over here. Right here is going to be our second fuel tank. This is going to be another 50 gallon. One thing I like to talk about with the fuel tanks is they are 50 gallons and they are self-balancing. However, if you do want to get that full fill on your truck, you want the fuel mile or the meter to stay full, you will have to fill up on that side and this side in order to get that. So you'd have to fill both sides. However, if you're just, going a few miles, you want to fill one side, you don't care if it's full, then you can easily just fill one side and it'll self-level for you. And then these are nice because they can securely lock into place if that's what you want to do. Taking a look at the front, you're going to see that your passengers have just as much comfortability as the driver, which is great. I get a lot of questions on this. Are the passenger seats different? They are absolutely the same. They're going to have the same controls, same air ride, and the entire front is going to be built for comfortability with these air ride seats. So the passenger will be equally as comfortable. We have the same controls right here. The only difference is going to be right under here. We have a fuse box. So if you need to get access to any of those, that panel will come off and you can get access to all of those fuses. Alrighty, taking a look at the back seat again, you're gonna go ahead and jump in there. You're gonna see we have some charging ports at the bottom where you can charge a iPad, a laptop, some phones, whatever you want to charge. Those are there for you. Happy to get back in the truck. It's a chilly one today here in Colorado. Alrighty, and then the first thing you're gonna notice as we're getting in is the massive windshield. This is gonna be 2,500 square inches of windshield. It is massive. You're getting such good visibility because you can see from every angle, especially for that night driving. Sometimes it's hard to see at night, so the visibility on this is a critical safety feature to have. Alrighty, let's get this guy started. One thing I would like to say is before starting this truck, you want to let it sit in accessories for a few seconds. You can see everything's waking up, all the controls are getting where they need to, and then we can go ahead and start it. Easy startup. Great. Jumping back up, you're gonna see this is the Detroit Assurance box that I was talking about earlier with the sensor right there. This is gonna be the housing for all of those safety features. Taking a look right there, you're gonna see we have our first storage compartment. That's gonna be a great storage compartment for sunglasses, some smaller things that you wanna add in here. Right here is gonna be our larger one. This can fit papers, whatever you need. That is another pretty large storage compartment that can hold essential things that you need it to. Taking a look right here, this is going to be the Voyager camera system that we were looking at back there. This is going to be the first camera setting. This is the one we were talking about. And then in order to switch through those, you're going to click this button right here. That'd be the camera 2, camera 3, and camera 4. You can have up to 4 connected to this truck. And then the nice feature is you can do split screen. So we have 1 and 2, 1, 2, and 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 4. So great feature to know. You can have all your cameras at the same time, whether it's, in a stock trailer, you have one on the bumper, wherever you want it, you can see everything at the same time with keeping your hands on the wheel. So we'll go ahead and set that back to camera 1. Right here is going to be our air horn. This is going to be our Bluetooth camera setting, or the Bluetooth sensor right there. Taking a look down here, you're gonna see we have our controls for windows. Get a lot of questions on these. So people ask, how's there only 2 window buttons rather than 4? Well, that's a great question. Right now you can, these 2 are gonna connect to the 2 front windows, but by clicking this button, it's gonna light up red. You will then have access to controlling the 2 back windows. So just by click of the button, it's gonna give you access to all the windows by just clicking right here. Alrighty, taking a look right here, you're going to see we have our controls for the display. The display is right here. It is super user friendly. You can go ahead and just switch through things like this. As you can see, it has all of your, you put your miles per hour on here, any diagnostics, and it's easily just scrolled through with this. These are gonna be your controls for volume right here. And then we have our controls for hands-free. Another great feature is you can connect your phone to this and it can be hands-free calling. Right here is going to be our settings for the cruise control. Another great feature with safety is they're right on the wheel, so you're not reaching across, turning things on. Everything is going to be right there so you can easily connect to that. This knob is going to be super important for a lot of controls. So right here you can see we have our gear adjustment or neutral, you have drive and reverse, but it's also a way to use the truck in manual. If you click this button in and you'd shift down and up, that is going to be how you would use the manual settings on this truck. Right here also, to keep in mind, is going to be our engine braking system. So it shifts like this. It's 1, 2, and 3. Those 3 settings. We're going to go ahead and move that back to normal because we're not using those, but for those engine brakes, that's how you're going to shift to turn those on. Right here is going to be our trailer air supply. If you're running with a trailer, maybe it's a horse trailer that has air supply, you can connect those into that trailer, and by clicking this button, it's going to run the air supply back to that trailer, so it's going to be on the same braking system. Right here is going to be the truck's parking brake. We have our Red Arc trailer braking system. This is a great system, and it can be adjusted based on sensitivity on where you want it. Red Arc is a great system. We always love using them. Right here is going to be our subwoofer controls. We have our hazards, dome light, footwell, and pre-trip. One thing I'd like to add about that pre-trip is not only is it going to run the pre-trip lights for your truck, it is going to run the pre-trip for the truck and trailer you're connected to. So if you want to check your trailer lights, how they're connecting to the truck, make sure everything's working properly, you can use that pre-trip, and that's going to run everything. We have our optional switches right here. If you want to add a light bar, whatever it may be, those can be assembled and plugged in right there. Right here we have our controls for just the back air supply. So we have our fan speed, heating, and cooling. Taking a look down here, we have all of our Detroit safety features. So we're gonna have the automatic brake assist, lane departure warning, traction control, and then our engine shutdown override. I like to talk about the engine shutdown override just because it's a button a lot of people aren't familiar with. But say you're driving on the highway and the truck's freaking out, you're getting all these air codes on the screen, it's telling you that the engine's gonna shut down. If you are not in a safe spot where you can properly get off the highway, you can click this button. It's gonna shut down the engine, or it's gonna prevent the engine from shutting down until you can safely get off the highway. Now, you just wanna be careful using that because by clicking that button, your engine's gonna run until it physically can't. So you just wanna be safe using that. Right here we have our differential lock and our suspension dump. That's just gonna drop those airbags in the back, whether it's for hooking up to a trailer or raising it when you are hauling. That's going to be the controls for that suspension dump. Right behind here is going to be the controls for the Android Auto Apple AirPlay. You're just going to connect your phone right there. It's going to connect to Bluetooth and you're going to be all good to go with that. Taking a look right here, we do have our Stinger display navigation system. Stinger works exceptionally well. It's a touchscreen system, super user-friendly. It's going to be easy to use. You can see we have the Bluetooth, phone, Apple CarPlay, and the navigation system. I get a ton of questions of people asking about the navigation system. It is already pre-made into this system, so you can use that and be assured it's ready to go. I know it's hard using your phone sometimes. You want to keep your eyes on the road, so this is going to be easy and safe to use. Right here are going to be the controls for the front here, and it is cooking up here. We've got the heat all the way cranked up, but those are going to be the controls. It's going to be pretty basic to what a normal pickup truck would be. Looking right here, you're going to see we have 4 cup holders. They can be pulled out if you need to clean them, so that's a good thing to keep in mind. One thing I like to add specifically about these cup holders is they are going to fit a Stanley cup. So I personally like Stanley cups. I know a lot of people have bigger cups, whether it's coffee cups or water bottles, so those are all going to fit nicely in those. Right here we have a large storage compartment that can fit papers, tools, flashlights, whatever you may need. That's going to be easy to access, and this can fit quite a bit of storage. That's a pretty big storage compartment, so everything you're going to need can be easily fit in there, so nothing's cluttered up here. Alrighty, and then another great feature about these trucks that is not talked about as much as it should be is the cool lighting systems we have on these guys. So right here you can see we have the reading lights. These are just going to be bright lights, especially in the nighttime. They work great, just great lighting for, they're called reading, but you can use them for whatever you may need. We have our blue lights right here. This is going to be great for that night driving. It's going to keep your eyes accumulated to the headlights on the road. It's going to keep you awake, so that's going to be great for that night driving. And then the fun one is going to be our mood party lights we have on top. You're never going to need a limo or a party bus again. You can just turn your truck into a party truck and you are good to go. So that's a great feature that Freightliner adds, is those really cool light features. They're especially fun at night. They are really bright and they look awesome. I think that's all I have on this truck today, but if you are interested in this truck or any of the other trucks on our lot, my credentials are going to be right here. If you want to give me a call, send me an email, whatever works best for you, I'd be happy to chat with you. So yeah, just reach out and we'll move from there. I hope you guys have a fantastic day and we'll see you next week.